and it seems like old times, doesn't it?
Now you're talking playoff football.
I'll tell you.
All right, DJ, unusually balmy day for this time of year in this part of the country, and even more importantly, there is no wind. Very little to speak of.
You know, and I'll tell you, when you get to this thing where the winner is going on to the championship game and the loser that, it doesn't make any difference what the heck kind of field it's on.
That is very true.
I think these two teams, I really do, I think they could go out and play in the parking lot.
The Eagles kick off. They have an outstanding record when they lose the toss, which they did because they're kicking off. This is Ron Dixon with some room, and Dixon can fly away from Akers, and he's gone. He's not going to be stopped by anybody. What a way to open up a playoff game. The Giants. Ron Dixon from 97 yards. Nobody came close. What an alley he had.
Ron Dixon, the fastest Giant of them all. If you want to get the ball in someone's hand that can take it all the way, it's Ron Dixon.
97 yards.
He just catches it inside the 5-yard line, starts up the middle, picks up a couple of good blocks there. There's no way Akers is going to tackle him. And at this point on, that's just Ron Dixon and his speed to the end zone. What a way to start a playoff game.
7-0 Giants. Pete Monty. If there was such a thing as a key block, it was by number 51 in blue.
And he gets it right there.
Yep.
And from this point on, he knows when he gets one-on-one with a kicker that he's going to win that battle. And after that, again, it's just his speed.
And he can fly.
And you know he's going to be excited, and this whole stadium is excited.
They didn't even get seated before the Giants are on the scoreboard.
Now he has to go and talk on the telephone and tell him what he just did.
Get his breath.
Jim Fossil is right there and wants to hear all about it. Ron Dixon's had some problems with being on time and missing some meetings and so on, and been in the doghouse a little with Jim Fossil. Watch Dixon here. He's going to go right to the camera. In fact, he kind of stuck his head in there.
He wanted an instant replay.
Yeah, make sure that's a camera, not a heater.
Yeah. I want to see it again. And well, he should. 97 yards, the opening kickoff. Ron Dixon.
I tell you, you want to set a tempo early, and that's what you always talk about it. It can be your offense, it can be your defense, and it can certainly be your special teams.
You got to look at Donovan McNabb. He is the Eagle offense, and he'll get his chance now.
I coached a playoff game once against the Miami Dolphins, and the same thing happened. We kicked off the opening kickoff, and they returned it all the way.
Brian Mitchell at the 9 takes Daiuso's kickoff, and he's got some room. Mitchell, good return to the 36. Dave Thomas made the hit that brought him down. Let's look at the Eagle offense. Thomas and Runyon, the tackles. Wilburn and Jermaine Mayberry, the guards. Bubba Miller's the center. Two good tackles. Small, Warren, Martin, Chad Lewis headed for the Pro Bowl, and Charles Johnson playing with a sprained ankle. Follow the directions of Donovan McNabb. 75% of the Eagle offense.
Look at this formation. The two tight end, the two wide receivers are stacked out there.
McNabb. Complete to Lewis, and let's have a look at the Giants defense. The front four: Jones, Hamilton, Christian Peter, and Michael Strahan. Three linebackers: Jesse Armstead, Mike Barrow in the middle, and Ryan Phillips. Sehorn and Thomas the corners. Sean Williams having a great year, and Sam Garnes the two safeties. 2nd and 4. Lewis in motion. Warren gets the carry. Doesn't get much.
Hey, Sean Williams is really something to safety. He's like having an extra linebacker in there, but Keith Hamilton and Christian Peter, they play that middle, and you don't get any movement there. And then they have Mike Barrow right behind him. And it's really tough, especially early in the game when these guys are fired up. If you look at these two tackles here, Griffin is in there now along with Hamilton. They put Griffin in there for the scramble because he has the quickest. But those two guys really handle their guards in center.
3rd and 4. McNabb ducks. Trying to take off with it. Gets nothing done.
Now, I was just talking about how Cornelius Griffin is number 97. And you watch him, he's going to spy. He starts here, and he's just going to wait right here. He's just spying Donovan McNabb. He's going to shadow him wherever he goes. And he was right there waiting for him.
A job well done.
As Jim Fossil said yesterday, the only defensive lineman we have that's capable of that is Griffin because of his speed.
Landetta punts. Amani Toomer is back at the 18. Toomer tripped up at about the 23. New York style pizza. Very appetizing.
They know how to do it.
Yes,
in New
they
York.
do.
I mean, it's funny how you can go some places and they can't make a pizza worth a darn, and just about any corner in New York you can find the best pizza in the world.
1st down, Giants. The pitch is back to Tiki Barber. Barber out of bounds. Let's have a look at the Giant offense. The offensive line has done an excellent job, sort of reconstructed. Dusty Ziegler's the center, Parker and Stone the guards, Pettigrew and Lomas Brown the veteran at tackle. Toomer, Barber, Camella, Howard Cross the tight end, and Ike Hilliard.
Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, says the guy they have to stop today is Amani Toomer. He said, in fact, we're going to double him the whole game. That's the first time I've heard that said about a Giant receiver that I can ever remember.
In a long time. Here's the reverse to Amani Toomer. And he got enough, I believe, for a Giant 1st down. Let's look at the Eagle defense. The front 4. Douglas, Thomas, Simon, and Whiting. Gardner, Jeremiah Trotter headed for the Pro Bowl in middle, and Carlos Emmons. And the secondary, a good secondary. Taylor Dawkins, Moore, and Troy Vincent.
There's
Jim, measure.
There's Jim Johnson there, the defense coordinator we were talking about. And as you said, they are measuring that to see if Amani Toomer got the 1st down, and he did.
Legendary sports announcer Marty Glickman passed away this week. He did Giant games for so many years. And they just observed a moment of silence here at Giant Stadium in his memory. He was the voice of New York for a long, long time. Tiki Barber back in. Collins swings it out to Barber. Barber gets away from the first tackler, out of bounds, no flags. There comes the flag. Barry Gardner knocked him out of bounds.
And that's right on the Giant sideline, and they're going to let him know it. Gardner's there. He better get back off there and get in the huddle. Tiki Barber still has something. You know, the Eagles did say early in the week, in fact, it was Brian Mitchell who said it, that Tiki Barber has a broken left arm, and they're going to go after his left
Personal
arm.
foul, unnecessary roughness by the defense. Number 52, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Barry Gardner. Ed Hockley is the referee. And there's a quote from Brian Mitchell, which might have stirred things up a little during the week. Barber appears to be smiling a lot, but he's not always smiling. That's misleading.
Well, you're going to see what happened here. You see he's on the sideline. Right now he goes out of bounds. Gardner really hit him late.
Yeah,
he hit him right on that arm. I mean, that's not football. There's no place for that any place.
Joe Montgomery in the backfield for the Giants. Collins fake to him. Throws quickly to Hilliard. They get into Eagle territory at the 45.
Heck of a play by Kerry Collins. It was a bootleg, and Brandon Whiting, the defensive end, was there waiting for him. Usually you try and fool that end and get him to come down and pursue so you can get around him. But watch as he goes out there. Brandon Whiting is going to be out. This is the backside. This is away from the play where they're blocking on Hugh Douglas. They're always going to have a couple of guys on him. You see, I mean, that's when Lomas Brown is blocking Hugh Douglas, but he's going to have a friend with him every once in a while.
Ron Dane is the deep back, and he gets the carry. And Dane is hit at the line of scrimmage by Jeremiah Trotter. No gain.
Jeremiah Trotter's a heck of a middle linebacker.
Boy,
in fact, he's going to the Pro Bowl, and he really does a good job against the run. I mean, he controls that middle, takes on a block, gets off the block, and as you can see here, he leads the team in tackle. I like Jeremiah Trotter. I mean, he comes from Hooks, Texas. If you come from Hooks, Texas, I'll guarantee you, and you play middle linebacker in the NFL, you're tough.
He grew up chopping wood. Here's Collins back to throw. Batted down by Corey Simon. And it brings up 4th for the Giants. They'll have to punt.
That's the thing that they want to do. You know, is first of all, you'd like to sack a quarterback. And then you would like to make him throw it before he's ready. Then the third thing is if you don't do any of the above two, then you just try and get in the lane that he's trying to throw it in. And that's what Corey Simon did.
Brad Maynard back to punt for the Giants. Mitchell deep for Philadelphia. Maynard rockets it off his foot, and it bounds into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. Back at Giants Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. We're in the first quarter. The Giants return the opening kickoff for a touchdown, lead 7-0.
One of the things we know about the Giants defense, Pat, is Jason Sehorn is always going to take Charles Johnson, but there's no one out here on this receiver.
No.
Oops, now they just came out.
Sehorn moved out. The pass is caught, I think, by Charles Johnson, but it might have hit the ground. Incomplete.
Yeah, that's one of the troubles you get once in a while in matching up, is you match up and he goes in the slot. Sehorn goes in the slot with him.
Second down.
And no one goes with the outside receiver.
That was not what they had told us, and we saw him do in practice. Sehorn went with Johnson, but that time somebody had to come wide.
Well, that's a problem. You know, I mean, you can get those matchups, but then someone else has to take care of the other matchups. You see the ball hit the ground there.
3 wide receivers, and now Mitchell goes back in motion. No running backs. And McNabb retreats and throws to Mitchell. Up near the 30.
That's where Mitchell is such a good player. You know, he's a good special teams guy. He's a good kick returner, and he has been for so long a good receiver coming out of the backfield.
Yep.
Now the Eagles don't have a lot of running backs, so they have to. It's one of those things they call by committee. You know, Chris Warren is going to do some of it. Brian Mitchell will do some of it. Usually when Brian Mitchell is in there like now, it's a passing situation. Although this is 3rd and short.
3rd and very short. McNabb sprint right. Trying to get away, doesn't. Throws and has to throw it away. It'll bring up a 4th down. Good defense.
That kind of surprised me that the Eagles didn't substitute and get in some kind of short yardage package, because they were only 3rd and like inches on that play.
Ryan Phillips applied the pressure, and Sean Landeta, who has 2 Super Bowl championship rings to his credit, but when he was playing and punting for the Giants. Amani Toomer back deep for the Giants. By himself.
It's usually Tiki Barber, and because of that broken left arm and the cast on the left arm, he's not returning punts today.
Landeta. Good kick. Toomer. Handled it cleanly. Back at Giants Stadium, 7-0 Giants. Ron Dixon's 97-yard kickoff return on the opening kickoff. The first playoff touchdown kick returned ever by a Giant. And that's how they lead 7-0. 1st and 10 Giants at their own 36.
Empty backfield.
Gary Collins back. Toomer.
You know, the Eagles have good corners, and they're doubling Amani Toomer, and he still gets that slant. I mean, this is the thing that they run so well, where they just come up and they run inside, and he just does it on Bobby Taylor. The last game, that's what they did. The game before, that's what they did. So I was sure today that they would take away that slant to Amani Toomer. The first time they run it, boom, Toomer gets it.
First down, Giants. Ron Dane is the running back. He gets the toss. Dane, nowhere to go.
Yeah, Dane, if you can keep him going parallel to the line of scrimmage, and that's what defenses are doing to him now. They're getting penetration when he starts to one side, and they don't let him get his shoulders square. And he has to be a power guy. And if he has his shoulders perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, he's not going to make a yard.
He's out, and Tiki Barber's in.
Now, Tiki Barber has his shoulders anyway to the line of scrimmage, and with his quickness and speed, he can still make a play.
He's the deep back on 2nd and 11. Collins gets the screen pass out to Greg Camella. Good play by Vincent. Tiki Barber, as we said, playing with a broken ulna in his left forearm. He has a fiberglass cast over it, plus padding, of course.
You know, the funny thing about that is he broke that against Dallas, and he played against Jacksonville with nothing on it because he knew it was hurt, but he didn't want to miss the game so he wouldn't have an x-ray. After the Jacksonville game, he had an x-ray and found out he had the broken ulna.
The last game of the regular season.
Then they had to buy, and then this is the third thing he's had on that arm. He's had a cast, and he had some other thing on it yesterday, and today he has fiberglass.
Collins to throw, batted down, this time by Brandon Whiting. And the Giants will have to punt.
You know, that's the second time in this game that they've knocked down a third down pass. And you see right there, again, just get in that lane. And when you get a push, that time they got a push on Glenn Parker. You see Brandon Whiting get the push on him. Then when he gets ready to throw, boom, just get your hand up there and knock it down. That's the second time they've done that to Kerry Collins on third down.
Maynard back to punt. Brian Mitchell deep for Philadelphia. Mitchell is going to have to let it bounce. And it takes a bit of an eagle bounce. And the Giants down it. Now, I have never seen a sandwich. Could you eat a sandwich like that?
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, I did last week.
You did?
Yeah, I got one just like that. And you kind of have to break it back down again. You know, you don't, I mean, there's no one. You know, oh, you're a big mouth guy, you can get big. No, you can't get your mouth around that. But you kind of break it down, and then you get some more bread, and then you make a bunch of little sandwiches.
I'm amazed you're still upright if you had one.
It's still first down.
Oh, smoke.
I didn't cut mine, though, or they didn't cut mine. I mean,
mine took a bite out of it?
Mine just came out in one piece. It wasn't like this. I mean, this guy's cutting it. His hands aren't big enough. My hands were big enough to handle it.
Let's go after the game.
I will say that my mouth wasn't. My hands were. Then they have a scale.
I'm glad to hear that.
What the heck do you have a scale for? What do you think they weigh?
McNabb back to throw. Had time, but no more. Mike Strahan.
Yep, that's a big play for Michael Strahan. That's a big matchup today. John Runyon. You're going to see John Runyon attack here. Now Strahan comes into him, fights him, and then gets off him. You see him get in there, and then he gets him moving.
I got him backwards.
You see, that's what he wanted to do. He said about his fourth step, he said, sometimes you make a move on a guy on your first and second step. He said, you can't do that against John Runyon. He said, against John Runyon, you have to get his feet moving, then you make your move on him about your fourth step. That's what Michael Strahan just did.
Exactly what he did. He got Runyon moving, and then he tossed him to his side.
Watch Michael Strahan here, and we talk about his step. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what he wants to do, get up the field, 1, 2, 3, 4, get him moving, get Runyon moving, then get that right arm inside as Runyon's left foot comes up. And then you go right to the inside. That was a perfect move by Michael Strahan to get Runyon moving and then take his right arm and keep him going that way.
Got him up under the pads. That's Mitchell. Mike Barrow on the stop.
You know, this whole crowd has white flags today. But watch this, Jesse Armstead right here. He has his own. He took it out on the field with him, and all the fans here have the same type of thing. Jesse got one, brought it on the field to get the fans to start to do what they're doing right now.
3rd and 15 at the 18. McNabb back to throw. Deep. Incomplete. Nay Brown was the intended receiver. Couldn't hang on.
And that was one of the places they want to work. If there is a corner they want to work on, it's Dave Thomas right here. They think that they can get some things on him, although he had some help to the inside, so he could play that one a little tighter on Nay Brown.
That's a good throw by McNabb and should have been caught. That should have been an Eagle first down. Landetta skies this one, not his best effort. That's Ike Hilliard who makes the catch and gets to midfield. The NFC Championship game is on Fox. John and I will be there.
Yep, if the Giants win, the Minnesota Vikings come here. If the Eagles win, the Eagles go to Minnesota. Congratulations to Minnesota, Oakland, and Baltimore.
This is Barber. Eagle pursuit is good, and they get him out of bounds. A couple of missed tackles, but the help was there. Let's look at the picture of what happened this weekend. Minnesota beat New Orleans 34-16. They'll play the winner of this game. Oakland shut out Miami 27-0. Baltimore beat Tennessee 24-10. Moss was a hero. Torrey James for the Raiders. Ray Lewis for Baltimore. None of those really surprised except maybe James.
Yeah, I mean, if you know the defensive backs the Raiders have, you wouldn't expect it to be Torrey James, but they did a great job on offense and defense.
They really did. Collins gets it out to Dane. That's only the 4th pass he's caught this year.
You know, one thing, the Eagles are kind of playing a solid defense. They're not blitzing because Jim Johnson wants to see what the Giants are thinking about, you know, and how they want to play. So they're just playing base defense. They haven't blitzed yet. And in doing so, they're allowing them to double team Hugh Douglas, to work on Hugh Douglas. And look at the time Kerry Collins had. I mean, he has so much time. He looked for like 5 receivers before he brought it down to Ron Dane.
Good work by Lomas Brown. 3rd and 6, and here comes the blitz. Collins gets it outside. That's Ike Hilliard, and there's nothing there for Ike. Troy Vincent up in a hurry.
That was their first blitz there, Pat. What Jim Johnson wanted to start this game is very base. If you look, they had 13 plays, and on 12 plays, they didn't blitz. That was their first blitz. He said he wanted to see what formations the Giants had in mind for today, because over the other 2 times, you know, Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator of the Giants, has kind of caught him with some formations and some shifts, and he didn't want to be caught early in this game.
Just over 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. The Giants leading 7-0. Maynard's kick is a honey. But it takes an Eagle bounce if you're looking for it to go in the end zone, because it went in and out. Tonight at 8 p.m. on Fox Sports Net, on your local cable or satellite provider. The Eagles, no running backs. McNabb outside. Cecil Martin, a couple of jukes that don't take. Armstead made the stop.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you have a guy like Jesse Armstead that can go out there and cover. We look out here, there's no one out there, and finally Jesse Armstead gets out there, and that's why the ball went out there so quickly, because when Donovan McNabb looked out there, there was no one on Cecil Martin.
2nd and 6. Barnes small. And the Giants come up with the ball. Dave Thomas came out of there with it. Small had the first down.
Hey, this is what the Giants need. They start off with a great kickoff return, and then they get the first turnover. As you say, Torrance Small has it. then he goes to put it away, then it's on his side there, and then he just gets hit and it gets knocked out.
Comes back to Thomas.
Sean Williams was the guy that knocked it out. He's really been an active safety, not only in the run, but in the passing game. That play there was about Sean Williams.
It's inevitable that turnovers are going to happen. And when they happen against you, it's just not your day.
Well, this is the third game that these two teams have played, and the Giants haven't had a turnover yet.
Collins back to throw it. Throws it out to Tiki Barber. Good defense again by the Eagles.
And I tell you, good pass protection by this offensive line. If there's anything that you can see early here, it's that the fact that the offensive line of the Giants really have this defense of the Eagles under control. Because look at the pocket here. Look at the time Kerry Collins had. I mean, his problem is not that he's being rushed. His problem is that no one was open a few times.
That was Jeremiah Trotter again who made the stop with another good play. Collins has Barber behind him. They fake the result. They throw the screen to Barber. Well set up. Tiki Barber has the first down. Giants at about the 22-yard line of Philadelphia.
Hey, Tiki Barber's a tough little guy. I mean, you get out there and you know that you have to be quick when you're that size. They fake the reverse and then they throw the screen here to Tiki Barber. He gets a good block by his guard, Ron Stone, out there leading them. But I tell you, I mean, when you play this game and you play as many games as Tiki Barber does, you have to be tough. And then when you're playing it in a playoff game with a broken arm and you can only carry the ball in your right arm, you can't switch it. You're something.
His place has been taken by Ron Dane, and this is Dane for a couple. Barry Gardner made the stop.
They're getting good mixture in there. And if you're going to run Ron Dane, this is the place to run him. This is what I'm saying. You just take him, let him get his shoulder square like it is there. Then he can make a little cut right or left. He's not as good when he goes outside the tackle.
2nd and 6. Dane remains in the Giant backfield.
Dane is either good to run inside or to play fake to and throw the ball.
Collins starts Hilliard in motion. Fake to Dane. Looked outside, throws upfield. Incomplete. Greg Camilla was the intended target.
Yeah, because sometimes we were just talking about that. You say, well, why don't they put Tiki Barber in on 2nd down? And I think that when Tiki Barber's in there, you expect pass more. When Ron Dane is in there, you expect run. So therefore, you're either going to run it to Ron Dane, or on that play, you fake it to Ron Dane, make their defense think that it's going to be run, then you go play fake.
Sean Payton, who calls the plays for Kerry Collins for the Giant offense. Barber is back.
Giants have been 0 for 3 on 3rd downs.
This is Barber. And he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing. Good play again by the Eagle defense. That's the end of the first quarter.
Hey, look at this. We knew it was going to be a defensive game, and if it weren't for that first kickoff return by Ron Dixon, we wouldn't really have much offense. There's been 75 total yards offensively, 4 first downs, and those were all by the Giants. 0 for 7 on 3rd downs, and there's been 6 punts
already.
First quarter, and that's kind of what you expect, and that's why I think that first kickoff return was such a big thing, because this isn't going to be a high-scoring game, and this field goal is also a big play.
37. There's the wind direction at the bottom of your picture. This is 37 yards out for Brad Daluiso, and he's right down the pipe. 10-0 Giants. You like duck?
Yeah, well, that's the duck. You stick in the chicken, then you stick it in the turkey, and you fly to the moon.
If you have enough power.
Or you believe that the cow really did jump over the moon.
Did you do anything else this week but eat? The Eagles, Brian Mitchell still going. Brian Mitchell talks a lot, but he plays a pretty good game as well.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. I mean, he's not only an offensive guy, but he's a special teams guy and good tackler and all these types of things. And you look at this Eagle offense, and The last time they played the Giants, their receivers really killed them. They dropped 8 passes. Today, so far in the first quarter, they've already dropped 2 and fumbled 1. So the Eagle receivers have to start playing football if they're going to be in this game.
Fake reverse. This is Chris Warren. Near first down yardage, but not quite.
And that's a place that is surprising that they go with Keith Hamilton, because when we were talking to Andy Reid, he said the one guy on defense, there's probably more than one, but the guy that he's really concerned with is Keith Hamilton. He said that, you know, John Wilborn, who's the left guard, is going to have some help blocking Keith Hamilton. We just can't let him have his way all day.
McNabb out to Johnson. And Johnson gets an Eagle first down. Jason Sehorn forced him out of bounds.
Isn't it something, we were talking to Andy Reid last night, he was talking about Charles Johnson and how he hurt his ankle last week and practiced this week and is going to play today. And he said something that surprised me. He said that Charles Johnson is the toughest guy on the Eagle team.
Coy Detmer just checked into the Eagle huddle.
This is a trick play.
Two quarterbacks.
It's going to be to Detmer, and then we're going to then he's going to hand it to McNabb, and then he's going to throw it back to Detmer.
McNabb will throw it if he has time, and he throws it away.
I'll show you how it was supposed to look, but Jesse Armstead made a big play. You watch here. Here's Detmer, and here's Donovan McNabb. You see 10 is Detmer, 5 is McNabb. Now he's going to come in motion. He's going to hand him the ball, and he's supposed to stop and throw it back here. And you'll see what happened on that play. You see that they come off with it perfectly.
Cedric
Jones,
yeah.
Right. It was a right end. You see, now Coy Detmer can't run, so it's Cedric Jones who saw that. And I don't know, that's not much of a coverage.
No, it isn't.
Cedric Jones didn't know what the heck is going on, but here's a guy with an eligible number. I'll take him.
2nd and 10. Here's McNabb looking, has a lot of time, and McNabb will take off and slide after he picked up only a couple.
Yeah, that's what the Giants do so well, is that they just engulf everything. And again, you know, we saw it earlier where Cornelius Griffin, number 97, was a spy, and we see it again where he's just waiting and comes in to make the play.
3rd and long for Philadelphia. They need 8. They're at the Giant 46.
Here's Griffin right here. This is a situation that they like him in there because he can chase down McNabb.
Mitchell. Close.
Or whomever he throws it to. And that was Cornelius Griffin there. And because he's the guy that has the speed, they use him for these types of things. Here he gets a little rush, and now he comes down and he makes that tackle. This is a big play by Griffin. You're going to see him. See, Jason Sehorn misses the tackle right there. That's not much of a tackle. You got to wrap it up, and he's lucky that 97 Griffin was there to make the play and force the Eagles to have to punt.
Landetta back to punt. Amani Toomer is deep. High kick by Landetta. They let it bounce, and it takes the Eagle bounce this time, and they've done it at about the 3-yard line, and now there's a flag on the play. Gerard Cherry was down to down it. A late flag.
I was talking to Sean Landetta before the game. It's going to be against the Eagles. Anytime you see an official with his hat off, that means that there was an infraction outside the field of play.
Had to be on one of the gunners then.
Right. If you know someone going out and then coming back in, you can go out as you're chasing the punt. You can go out, but you can't come in and be the first guy to touch it.
touch the ball.
Illegal touching by a member of the kicking team, number 25.
Gerard Cherry.
Out of bounds, came back in and was the first to touch the ball. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
See, here it is. See, you see, Cherry can do this. He can get knocked out of bounds. Right there when he stepped on the line, he was out of bounds. Now he can come back in and make a play but he can't be the first guy to touch the ball.
And Seahorn pushed him out of bounds. But regardless of that, he can't be the first guy to come in and touch the ball.
Right, and then when the official saw that, he threw his hat there. That's not a penalty. He's just marking that he did go out of bounds, and he can't be the first guy to come in and touch the ball.
And so Landeta will have to punt again. Hanging kick. Toomer signals fair catch. The Giants get 10 or 11 yards. 10-0. The Giants over the Eagles. The winner plays the Minnesota Vikings. Barber went in motion. That's Greg Camilla getting his token carry.
Did you hear that, though? The Eagles knew that because they were yelling, run, run, run. And then when Tiki Barber ran out, they called trap, trap. So the Eagles knew that formation with that play that was going to be attractive to Camilla, and they just played it.
Luke Pettigrew, number 77 in blue, is the man down. Those traps up the middle between Hollis Thomas and Corey Simon. Simon has had a heck of a year. A rookie, and he's a good one.
And he's going to be a good one for a long time. I mean, Hollis Thomas is more of a run stopper, you know, a plugger. But Corey Simon is one of those guys that can plug the run and also be a big pass rusher.
Rosenthal has replaced Pettigrew. They're cutting the tape off Luke Pettigrew's ankle.
You're going to see him right here, and you'll see what happens. Hollis Thomas rolls up on his left leg. See, that's the toughest thing as an offensive lineman. That's how I got mine. I mean, you're blocking, and you don't see or feel that stuff roll up behind you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Not a thing. Camilla moves around. The handoff is to Barber. Straight ahead. Good yardage for Tiki Barber. Barry Gardner made the stop.
They just put Mike Rosenthal in there at right tackle and ran right between he and Ron Stone. You're going to see the blocking right there. You see, it's just a trap. They take the tackle to the inside, the end to the outside, and lead through in the backer. See, the tackle goes in, the end goes out, and Camella leads through in the backer. That was very close to a gimme by the Eagle defense.
Like you diagram it. Ron Dane is the deep back. Dane gets the carry, and Dane comes out of the pack. Dane to the 45. Stopped by Damon Moore.
Yeah, again, Rosenthal does a good job here because the end can't go up the field. You see, when this end goes up the field, if we can stop it right there. You see, he gets too far up the field, then you do this. Now you're giving him the hole right there. You see, that's a gimme hole there. When you get the end, defensive end going up the field, you pin the tackle there, then you get the hole laterally.
18-yard gain for Dane. 1st and 10 Giants. They run it again. Dane again.
And another pretty good block by old 78 Mike Rosenthal there. This is what it looks like in the umpire cam right here. You see, right here he's going to get the block right there. Rosenthal does on Trotter.
On Trotter.
See, and that's just enough. He gets number 54 Trotter right there. And that gives Ron Dane just a hole enough to get through.
2nd and 6. Tiki Barber in the Giant offensive setup now. The pitch back to Barber, looking for some place to go, found some room, but not much.
Well, they didn't need that. I mean, they went to that fancy ball handling. That was some kind of counter thing that they tried to fake to the right and then pitch back to the left. One thing that Kerry Collins said that he learned early after they knew that Tiki Barber had a broken arm is don't give him the ball low. On the pitches all have to be up high around his numbers. He said he tried earlier and he pitched them low, and he said the ball just went on the ground. So he said anytime with that broken arm that I'm going to pitch, I have to pitch it high.
Collins back in the shotgun formation. Back to throw, and throws upfield. The pass is caught by Ike Hilliard. And Hilliard crosses the Eagle 30.
I'll tell you, Kerry Collins is really playing with confidence now, and he's getting great pass protection. You know, we know that Lomas Brown is on Hugh Douglas, and Hugh Douglas is their biggest pass rusher. But watch him here. Boom, boom. He gets a little thing there, and he has had a little help. But Hugh Douglas hasn't made a tackle today. And Lomas Brown, the old 16-year vet, is a big part of giving Kerry Collins this type of protection so he can throw these types of passes.
23-yard gain by Hilliard. First down, Giants. Collins calls a timeout.
Collins looks like a different guy, though, when he has confidence.
Really does.
And he has it today. There's Mike Mamula, the defensive end of the Philadelphia Eagles, that they're taking off in the cart.
Camelo is the man on the move. The handoff. Reverse coming. They drop it. And the Eagles have the ball. Hollis Thomas dropped on it.
You know, and they were playing so well, they didn't need the tricks.
Yep.
The Giants didn't need it. They had first down. They had good field position. They had everything going their way, and they go for the trick. What they do is they hand to Ron Dane here, and then he hands up. That's tough. I mean, anytime you have anyone other than the quarterback hand off the ball, you're taking a big risk. And at that point in the game, with this score, and that point in the field, there was no reason to take that risk. That's a big break for the Eagles.
They finally got a turnover. First and 10 at the 37 for Philadelphia.
That's their first turnover in 10 quarters.
Chris Warren, the ball carrier, doesn't get much.
They said on Mike Mamula, Pat, that it's a foot injury, and they're taking him in for x-ray.
He's had those problems throughout the year.
Yeah, in fact, he wasn't, even starting anymore. Brandon Whiting has been starting the last couple of months at that left defensive end.
2nd and 8. Here's McNabb back to throw with time, throwing deep and overthrowing. That's probably a good thing to Todd Pinkston.
Yeah,
well covered.
That's the receiver with the speed, and that's the guy that they're trying to get the big play to. And they have a couple of packages, and when they're, he's the guy he's their Ron Dixon. That they sneak in there every once in a while and try and get a big play to. John Fox, defensive coordinator, I think he knows that.
Yep.
And they had double, so he really had to throw that one away.
The Eagles 0 for 4 on third down conversions. And that's been the problem in the other game. There's a throw. Incomplete. McNabb intended for Nate Brown. And Brown hadn't even turned around when the ball whistled by him.
Yeah, that was he had pressure on him from his right side. He was trying to throw to his right side, so he saw the pressure. And he knew that he was either going to take a sack here or he had to throw the ball before he was ready. See, and that's what you try and do with pressure. You see, you come out there and you get the pressure and you try and sack him, but if you don't get the sack, the second thing is make him throw before he's ready to.
Landetta has had a busy day. Toomer around 1 and out of bounds at the 30. And Toomer grabbed his knee on the way out. The Giants lead here 10-0. Here's Collins back to throw. Looking. Collins comes out. Slides wisely after he picked up a few.
I'll tell you, they're really doing a job on Hugh Douglas. That time, Lomas Brown blocked him and then kind of laid on top of him so that Kerry Collins could get out there. That's Sean Payton calling the plays. That was one of the things they were worried about was Hugh Douglas. But when you have a guy like Lomas Brown, and he's been playing 16 years, he may get beat once or twice, but he's not going to let anyone embarrass him.
He's got a few tricks.
And he used them on that last play.
Second down and long. This is Barber. And there's no place to go. He lost a couple.
And they are not going to let Hugh Douglas have his way today, and they haven't.
He's got to be careful he really doesn't get frustrated and say, I can't get there. Here comes an Eagle blitz. Collins has a man open, incomplete. Oh, almost. He threw it off his back foot. Ron Dixon had found some room. Al Harris.
And he had it there. He just left it in the air too long. You're going to see that's what they try and do on Al Harris. You want to do a double move. Ron Dixon does it perfectly. Kerry Collins didn't get the ball out there.
He just didn't have time.
Yep. And that's very close to pass interference.
Yes, it is.
Al Harris, number 31, the third corner of the Eagles, wasn't looking back, wasn't looking at the ball.
Ryan Mitchell back deep for the Eagles. Maynard to punt. This one he can do some work with. No, he can't. Good coverage by the Giants. Lyle West.
If West doesn't make that tackle, that's going to be a big play.
The Giants have kept the ball as they did in the other two meetings when they defeated the Eagles. And today, once again, they've controlled the clock.
You know, in the first game, they were ahead 20-3 at half, and the second game was 14-0 at half for the Giants.
McNabb looks backwards. Giants showing blitz. McNabb looks and throws. No flags. Torrance Small, the intended receiver.
And that's who they're trying to work on. Anytime they're going to go deep, they're going to try and get it against Dave Thomas. Did you see on that last punt, watch this, what happens to Brad Maynard? You can't just stand around and look.
Not if you have not if you have the other color jersey on.
No, and he was just standing there looking around, thought everything was nice day here in the Meadowland. And then, boom, he got knocked right out of the picture.
I learned that my first year. McNabb is going to take off and falls forward for a couple of yards, not much. Strahan tripped him up.
I bet you kicked off and then you were watching the ball, weren't you?
That's exactly right.
Yep, that's what you get. I had Carl Weathers once, and he got a guy like that. You see, that's the lane that you can't give McNabb. But if you do give it to him, you better close it down quickly the way Michael Strahan did. Strahan's having a pretty good game today.
Yes, he is.
And he's playing against a good tackle in John Runyon, but he's gotten pressure, and that's big, not letting McNabb get away on a run.
0 for 5 on third down. The Eagles, there's the ball loose. The Giants have it.
Great play by Michael Strahan.
A flag on the play.
That was Strahan again. He bull rushed. Runyon weighs 330 pounds, and he bull rushed him.
Cedric Jones recovered the fumble, but there's a penalty on the play. Indications are it might be against
the Giants. There was no foul for defensive holding on the play, as the ball had already come loose. By rule, no foul. First down, Giants.
First down, Giants.
Now we can watch Michael Strahan and the job that he does. I mean, he's the guy, he puts his helmet right in McNabb's chest. But I'll tell you, before that, to get there, he ran right over John Runyon. This is going to be some play. Watch Michael Strahan here. This is an all-pro move here. Gets off in the ball, gets him, pushes him right back, knocks him over, runs over him, and then into McNabb and causes a fumble. That is a big time. If you're a defensive lineman, you live for these types of things.
Cedric Jones wound up with the ball, but that was all Strahan.
With Strahan, I mean, that's what you live for. That's why you lift them weights. That's why you go to those meetings.
First and 10 at the Eagle 26. Barber inside the 20.
We talked to Michael Strahan yesterday, and he said when you play against a guy like John Runyon, it's different. I mean, he's big and he's strong, and you have to set up your bull rush. In fact, he says he customizes his game to every offensive tackle he plays against. I'll tell you, the game that he customized for John Runyon today is pretty doggone good.
Pretty effective. Outstanding day for Strahan. Barber got 6. Dane has replaced him. 2nd and 4. Straight ahead is Dane. First down.
Yeah, at some point you have to listen to Jim Fossil's promises. You know, he was talking earlier in the week, and Ron Dane had kind of been in a slump, and He says Ron Dayne's going to come out of a slump and run better, and he's sure starting to do it in the first half of this game, but you have to give him runs like this. You see where he can come in, square those shoulders like that, and just run through a gap. Not run with the shoulders perpendicular.
Run through arm tackles. He can do that. 1st and 10. That's Barber. Ball's loose. Barber had the ball knocked loose. The Eagles are saying we got it.
That's the second time
they do.
The Giants get good field position. They get down here, and then they have a fumble.
Recovered by Damon Moore.
This is the thing that Tiki Barber was worried about. He can only carry the ball in one hand,
right,
and it has to be in his right hand. Then he got it knocked out of there by Damon Moore,
who also made the recovery.
That was a heck of a play.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing when you have a cast in your arm and you're a skill position guy, that they're going to go for that arm and go. I mean, they go for the ball all the time anyway, but I think there's a little added incentive when you have that cast there.
2:49 left to play in the first half. The Eagles escape. McNabb fires outside, complete to Johnson.
Well, I'll tell you, Strahan is really having his way with John Runyon. And John Runyon's a good tackle, but he's just pushing him around. Watch what he does here. He starts outside to make him move, and then he's going to give him that hump. You see, you start out there, then you move him and just go right inside of him. John Runyon, he has his hands full today.
Yes, he does. And he's a big guy and a good tackle, as you say.
I might have to think of giving him a little help over there.
2nd down, the Giants show blitz for a moment. That's Mitchell. Mitchell out to about the 25. (10-0) the Giants over the Eagles.
As we look at a clouded shot of the moon.
Yeah. Clouds moving in under the moon. That's logical.
You have the reverse of that. We're upside down.
Yeah. We're on top of that sandwich. Here's McNabb. This time he has time. And he throws it away. That's the first time this afternoon that he's had any kind of time to throw.
Yeah, and you can see, Donovan McNabb is only a second-year quarterback in this league. Andy Reid has done an excellent job with him, but at some point when you can't get anything going, frustration sets in, and the biggest thing to stop that frustration is a little success. But I think the fact that they're only down by 10 still gives them a little hope. They haven't been able to do anything, and they're only down by 10 points.
McNabb throws, and the pass is almost picked up. It is picked up. Sehorn came up with it. Jason Sehorn is going to take it in. He missed his first effort and came up with a bounce.
And that's a frustration we're just talking about. Your time is a little off. You start to force things. Great coverage by Jason Sehorn. He's the athlete in that secondary, and he's the guy that you think they're going to throw to is the guy you want Jason Sehorn on. Just going to see him out here, and he just gets the jump right there. He was back, he waited, and then he saw that ball and got the jump on it. That was quite a catch.
Yeah, it really was. This may be, they're going to review it.
The field.
Yep. If they had kicked the extra point, they couldn't do this. They're reviewing.
I didn't think that the ball hit anything, and he's not touched, so he's not down by contact. The ball never hits the ground. There's no contact of him. He catches the ball. The first guy that touches him is his own guy, so that has to be a touchdown. I never did think that the ball hit the ground.
This is an official's review.
Yeah, the last 2 minutes of a half or the game, it's the official's review, not the coaches. I don't know what the officials thought they saw up there.
Well, that second look we had at it was better than the first look we had.
I mean, there could have been a couple things. One, that they thought the ball hit the ground, or two, that they thought someone touched Jason Sehorn and he was down by contact. But as we saw the review there,
well, let's look again.
You see,
Nobody touched
down
it.
there. The ball hasn't touched the ground. Still doesn't touch the ground. Bat in the air. Sehorn still not touched by an opponent.
That's a heck of an effort.
And now you got to play.
That is one heck of an effort by Jason Sehorn.
When you put the baseball cap on and get the smile, I think he knows that it's not going to be overturned.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. The defender intercepted the ball before it hit the ground. Was not touched down by contact. Into the end zone. Touchdown.
So touchdown by Jason Sehorn from 32 yards away. A kickoff return of 97 yards by Dixon, and a 32-yard touchdown run by Sehorn after an interception.
And look at this crowd now. Doesn't this remind you of 1986?
Oh, yeah.
The Washington Redskins, the championship game here against the Giants, and the feeling in this stadium feels like that.
Seems like we never left. The extra point is good by Daniel Iso.
And we talked about Donovan McNabb, you know, getting frustrated. You can see that Hamilton knocked him down, and he saw that, and he tried to get over there, but he just didn't have any angle. But that was a great play by Jason Sehorn.
That was one heck of a catch. Yeah, great play. That's all you can say about it.
Did you play with that guy there, that old number 7?
I may have.
Russell's outstanding men. I'll tell you, there's Tiki Barber's brother, Rondé Barber, twin brother, Rondé Barber.
The cornerback for the Buccaneers.
Yeah. I think he's either talking to himself or talking to someone on the phone.
Yeah.
They got these cell phones, and everyone, no matter where you go, people are talking on phone.
Kick return for a touchdown, a field goal off an Eagles fumble, and that interception returned for a touchdown by Sehorn. That's gotten the damage done for the Giants, who lead now 17-0.
Yeah, and the Eagles just don't have enough offense to overcome those types of things. And this place, just before halftime, is going nuts. Everyone is standing.
Plus, the Eagles played last week and the Giants didn't.
Yeah, and plus these fans know, and these players know, and these coaches know, if the Giants win, Minnesota has to come here and play the championship game.
Short kick. Brian Mitchell will return it. Mitchell cuts back and stays on his feet close to midfield. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have highlights and analysis of today's divisional playoff games. Chris Carter is also live with us, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Chris Carter had a heck of a day yesterday, didn't he?
How about Randy Moss?
Yeah.
I mean, there's the guy, you know, I've always called him a field tilter because anytime he gets his hands on the ball, it can be a touchdown.
And it was yesterday. Here's McNabb. Hands off to Mitchell. I think based on that call, the Eagles have just decided, hey, we hope nothing else happens, and let's go in the locker room at the half and regroup.
Well, they're going no huddle, though. I don't think this is a field position to do that. I think they have pretty good field position. They ought to take some shots.
Well, maybe he's taking one right now. This is McNabb. Pass is caught by Torrance Small. He gets knocked down hard inbound, so the clock continues to run.
Yeah, I was surprised by that first down run because this is good field position. Look at what Michael Strahan's doing now. He just keeps going. I mean, he's putting unbearable pressure on Donovan McNabb in his first half, and he's done it different ways.
Runyon just has to dread lining up on a play when he sees him over there, because he's just dominated two teams in the first two meetings.
And neither one of these offenses are good enough to give turnovers and come back and win.
McNabb. Johnson out of bounds at about the 13-14-yard line.
This is a good thing for the Philadelphia Eagles because they didn't have any confidence. They were starting to get a little frustrated. And if they get a score here, they can go into that locker room with a little confidence. Because I don't think they had a lot coming into this game.
They didn't.
And they haven't gotten any in this first half until right now.
Well, they should get at least 3 out of this. 52 seconds left. They have 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10 at the Giant 13. They really haven't been in this end of the field. Here comes the Giant blitz. McNabb throws again. Outside the 10, about the 11. Johnson makes the reception. He takes the last timeout.
And because he threw to the inside, that's a problem with throwing to the inside and only having 1 timeout. If you complete it, you have to take your timeout.
Situation like this is when McNabb is really dangerous.
Well, he has 2 downs here. He has the 2nd and 3rd down before they have to go for a field goal. But with no timeouts, you can't throw the ball short of the end zone. So I think the plays have to be you can't run it now, and you have to throw it, and you have to throw it to the sideline or into the end zone.
And if he does choose to run it, he's got to get into the end zone. This is the last timeout.
Although they can get a 1st down. I mean, he could run it for a 1st down, get up there and spike the ball and do those types of things, but that's not the odds play. I mean, the odds are that you have to throw 2 into the end zone. Or if you complete that first one, then you kick an extra point.
Yeah, that's very true. And there's still time left on the clock. Hamilton. Christian Peter. Strahan. They've all done a wonderful job for the Giants in the first half. McNabb incomplete, almost picked off.
Yeah, that's a bad call, a bad throw. You don't want to do that. I mean, that was, throwing into the middle on the 5-yard line. Those are things that you don't want to do.
Now they're down to 1 down.
Yeah, and now you have to throw this in the end zone. I mean, they had 2 guys in the end zone, but he has to throw it there. And what you do is you just put a guy at that 2nd pylon, and you throw it to that 2nd pylon in the back of the end zone.
The fade.
Right, and either your guy catches it or it goes out of bounds.
3rd and 7. Here's McNabb back to throw. Pumps. Now he's going to take off, and now he looks backwards and fires, and touchdown. Torrance Small made a diving catch, and he didn't catch it. He didn't catch it. McNabb is still down, but there's a flag on the play.
And the official said no. He started. It looked like he caught it. The official was right there on top and said that he didn't catch it. I think McNabb, what the signal is here, that he went over the line of scrimmage before he threw the ball.
Torrance Small, carrying his left arm, made a diving effort at it.
That'll be loss it down.
Yep. So they'll have to
pass was incomplete in the end zone. There was an ineligible man by the offensive team, number 72, illegally downfield. That penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
So here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, McNabb did run back. So it was Trey Thomas. It's the left tackle. You see, but you're protecting, and then now you think he's running, so he goes up. But you see what McNabb came back, and Trey Thomas, the tackle, kept going up. But again, we see Torrance Small here. He fell down. In fact, I think he may have hurt himself when he fell down.
Yeah, he did. He landed on his left shoulder. Akers for the field goal. And Akers is good from 28 yards. And the Eagles get on the scoreboard. 17-3 the score. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris will have highlights and analysis of today's divisional playoff games. Chris Carter's in the studio live, or maybe not in the studio. And our Fox Sports sticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Hey, did you see that halftime when Chris Collinsworth, in the pregame, when Chris Collinsworth was with Michael Strahan? Michael Strahan scared the heck out of him, and then he continued that and did the same thing, I think, to John Runyon. I mean, he took that attitude that he gave to Chris Collinsworth. Chris didn't know what the heck to do.
He scared Chris?
Oh, he scared the heck out of Chris, because he told him, you guys don't respect this. You talk about it. Now you come here and try and be nice to me. Chris started backpedaling, and he got him. Strahan got Chris Collinsworth a lot like he got John Runyon.
With that, Runyon
on that
saw
fourth, that? No, but he got him on that fourth step. And he thought he was going to bull rush him. Collinsworth did on the first step, and he got him on that fourth step.
Akers to kick it off. Dixon will start this one from the 7. And he's got some room again. Dixon sprints out of bounds at about the 30.
Remember that Jason Sehorn, this one, he keeps all the stuff together.
Right.
I mean, nothing falls off. His pants come down a little.
But didn't fall off.
No, but they didn't fall off. There was a string in there that holds those pants, the zipper together.
17-3 at the half. As the teams head for the locker room. The turnovers have been the things that have contributed to the scoring. That's the end of the first half.